Hi guys, this is Mark Cross, aka Crossy, and you're on board with Eclipse Gaming TV. Welcome to part 1 of my Lower League to Champions League FM 2014 challenge. And as you can tell by the logo in front, I'm going to be trying to make this happen with Dover Athletic. So I'm going to jump straight into the game and just show you how we got things set up. So I've got my lovely face here set up, ready to go already. Date of birth, I've gone for 1975, a sort of realistic manager age, and also I couldn't get my real age on there because this thing annoyingly doesn't go up to 1989. So that's one shame straight away. Dual nationalities, English and Scottish and proud, of course. Place of birth, I will just sort that one out. While we're at it, may as well get this done properly, eh? And for any Dover fans that are watching this one, you'll probably notice my favourite team. And yes, it is true, I am a lifelong East Gillingham fan. Started from the age of about 4 or 5 when I first got dragged. And hey, you know, all I can say is it's not my fault which team my parents decided to get me into. And yeah, I mean, I go to Dover quite a lot, which is the main reason that I chose them as the team. One of my friends goes quite regularly, season ticket holder, has done pretty much since he was about the same kind of age, so I've tagged along on more than one occasion to a few away days that have ended in weekends away, and it's all been pretty good stuff. So to be honest, when it comes to a Saturday, I feel like watching some football, I tend to head to Dover than I do to Gillingham. It's half the price for a start, and a team right down in the lower leagues, you get a lot more banter, a lot more enjoyment out the social side than you seem to at Gillingham, where it's got a lot more of a big club feel from our time in the Championship. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong and in the wrong places, but that's just my feeling about things. So the Crabble seems to be my main place to hang out on Saturdays when it comes to watching football. As you can see, the game drops me into my favourite team, but I'm going to change that one straight away to Dover Athletic, and we can pretty much get straight into it. Just to give you a heads up while things are all setting up here for the plan going forward, as it says, Lower League to Champions League, it is going to be a big push to try and get Dover as far as I can before I run out of motivation, before people get bored of it, etc, etc. Haven't done anything like this in a while on Football Manager. I play it quite regularly, have done for a number of years. I'm not one of those that goes and buys it every single year, but every 2 to 3 I tend to update my version and go on and try and get some new challenges. Haven't really done anything like this in a while. Main reason for it is it's all been a little bit too easy in the past when you're down in the lower leagues. You can pretty much release all your players on free transfers, pick up the best free agents you can find, and end up building the best team, smash your way into league football, and from that point you're probably bored of being top of the table by about 20 points or something, and don't end up playing the league when you finally manage to get your team to that point anyway. So we'll see how it goes anyway. Things seem to be a little more challenging. I've had a little bit of a play on the 2014 demo before I've gone for it. And one thing that's coming straight away is that you only get a 1-year contract in your first job, and that's whether you take the job at Chelsea or down in the lower leagues. So that could be a little bit interesting. It really does put the pressure on going forward. So just going to save this game really quickly, and then we'll get underway. Really, to be honest, any feedback that you guys have got for me going forward, things I can improve, work on, I'm doing too much of, not enough of, just ping it in the comment section, let me know. This is going to be a work in progress, and plenty of improvements will need to be made from the points we're at now. I can almost guarantee you that, but I'm willing to learn and improve and make sure that you guys get the best viewing experience as possible. And also, just to throw it in there, at the moment, to start out with, I'm going to make sure that every click that I put in on Football Manager is going to be on a video and available on YouTube. So that does mean that all competitive matches will be played for you, so you'll be able to see all of those live. There won't be any skipping ahead or going on holiday or that sort of thing. So it means lots of video, lots of content. Maybe that's going to be too much for people, and you know, I won't get too much of an audience sticking with me through the whole thing. Fair enough. If that's the case, I'll just change things up and maybe do a highlight every time I play a month or something like that. But all things to move along with. And when it comes to interviews, questions, that sort of thing, I'm not going to read everyone out to you, but if you are interested in seeing what happens, then feel free to hit pause. You should be able to get the video to a high enough HD quality that you'll be able to read the text. Again, if that's not the case, then please let me know. So it mentions here that I've been unveiled as the new manager at Dover Athletic. Set myself up as a professional footballer as my previous experience. Normally I go international, but I tend to start off in higher profile jobs than this, and it makes a little more sense from that point. But professional footballer, I will go with that, and we'll see what sort of development we get out of that. Now, straight away, I've got myself a nice contract of £475 a week. I would certainly jack in the insurance game and switch over if I could get £475 a week to look after a football team. But unfortunately, performances on Football Manager don't usually translate into real-life job opportunities, so chances are that isn't going to happen. This personal message you get from the chairman pretty much asks you to step into a meeting with the chairman and with the assistant manager, so I'll do that now. I'm just going to skip ahead. As I say, you can pause these if you want to read them in full. So again, asking if I want a history of the club. Well, I know enough about Dover to get me by, and I'm sure the people that begin watching this to start with will be Dover fans as well, and will probably know more about the club than I do, so I won't worry too much about getting that. So we've got a 5k transfer budget and an 8k wage budget per week. That is what is thought by the board will be enough to push for the playoffs, which is our aim. So I'm quite happy to say, yep, that will do the job. And also we've got a meeting to suggest philosophy. So this is a new thing for 2014, I think. I didn't actually buy 2013, I only played the demo of it, and I don't remember this being in there. Seems to be quite an interesting one from what I've played about so far, as if you set a philosophy, it seems to allow you to push in that direction when it comes to funding, and the board are much more receptive to it. So there are no philosophies in place at Dover at the moment, so I will arrange that meeting, which we'll get to very soon. Again, press conference. Any Football Manager long-term players will know that the press conferences never change, but I will go with the first one just for those of you that haven't seen it before. And then that's it from Big Jim Parminter, and we're going to move on to a chat with the assistant manager. So first of all, intra-squad friendly, I'm not going to bother with that. Pretty much you square off against the under-21s and the reserves, you smash them, and you don't learn a whole lot from the experience in the past. Also, written report regarding the team. Yes, we'll definitely have that. Let's see how our squad is shaping up. And also we'll get a meeting with the staff. Usually with that, they point you in the right direction for who should be training on what. Give you some good ideas for players that are worth scouting. So quite happy with that. And regular reports with input from your backroom staff. Yeah, let's get those fortnightly. Well, I'm not particularly hands-on with Football Manager in a lot of ways, and this is all down to feedback. If you guys want to see me working on more aspects that I don't normally touch on, then fine, please let me know. If it seems like I'm doing too much, just skipped out of that, my bad, then again, let me know, and I'll leave a bit to the assistants. Straight away, friendlies, not too fussed about that, so I'm going to set those so that friendlies are arranged and played by the assistant manager, so I won't have to see those. We won't see simulations of them as such, we just get an email with how it went. So also, I'm going to change training, and for the time being, I'm going to leave all of that in the hands of the assistants. I'm going to do that for all of the squads. One reason for that is pretty much you can set it up and go. From experiences I've seen from Football Manager in the past, your coaching staff will recommend what people should be training on. They're usually not far wrong with that. And all it comes down to is getting the board to improve your facilities and to get the best possible coaches that money can buy as such. And if you get that right, you'll start to see your players develop about as well as they can be, as long as you get them a bit of playing time. So I'm going to leave that in the hands of your assistants as well. If you really want to get hands-on with this, though, then being able to individually push all of your players into the areas where they need the most assistance is pretty much what football management should be about. So I may well get some feedback saying, spend a bit more time on training, please. So we'll see how that develops as time goes on anyway. So that's everything I'm going to deal with. Press conferences, I'll just deal with those as they come. It's not a major problem. It's a few mouse clicks. So let's get that out of the way and jump out of that conversation as well. Going to do one little thing just quickly. I don't know how well this is going to work out because I've seen what his value is, but I am going to throw a little scout report out onto Franny Collin, ex-Dover player. Main reason I've done that is if you look at the history, this guy likes to be a bit of a goal machine, and you could say with Franny Collin, from what I've heard, is that he's quite happy being a big fish in a small pond, and so another move back to Dover, first time in 3 or 4 years, might well help secure me enough goals to push me out, at least into the Skrill Premier Division, if nothing else. But judging by his value and the fact that I've got a 5k transfer budget, I think we can pretty much write off any chances of me prying him from Maidstone, which is a shame. And also, one more player just to eye up, if I can find him. Lewis Putman from Wealdstone. He's in their under-21s, which is pretty much a reserve squad, but 18 penalty taking, 17 finishing, and this lad's got some goals in him. I know he's only playing in the Ryman League, but that's what it's all about. You've got to find these players as best you can. So I'll get a scout report on him. It might turn out that he's got no potential whatsoever on this game, and we'll decide to leave it alone. So I've got choices of transfer budgets here. So I thought they'd give me 8k. Looks like they've rounded up. But you've got the opportunity to up your transfer budget to 7k from 5k. Not going to do a lot there. And since I'm only paying 6,500 on wages so far, I think I can probably shift things around to work that cap. And also, how many Dover fans are confident about winning outright promotion? I would say not too many. So I am going to confirm and just stick with the goal of the playoffs. And just before I end this, going to try and break it up into about 15-minute sections. Let's have a look at the team that I've inherited here. I'm suggesting that Terrell Forbes is the star player in the team. I will agree with that. Great pickup for Dover. After over 500 league appearances, he's stepped down, vastly experienced, and from times I've seen him actually playing in real life, he's been an absolute beast. So I think I will agree with that, and he will definitely be a fixture in my defence. Looks like a bit of work needs to be done at centre-back though, because we've got Richard Orlu in there, 3.5 stars. And then Michael Kamara. So a bit of work needs to be done there for a start. I'm glad to see that since the demo, Mitch Walker's taken a little bit of a boost. He was 3.5 stars, now showing us 4. Judging by people that you speak to, Mitch Walker is one of the best goalkeepers in the league. So pleased to see him get a little bit of a boost. And also, half a star has been chopped off goal machine Elliot Childs. Still sitting there at 4 stars, but his performance hasn't quite been up to scratch since making his return to Dover by the looks of things. If I can get this central midfield pairing of Barry Cogan and Craig Stone, very happy to see that. Craig Stone's a player that I watched back when he was at Gillingham. I think that might have been in the Championship still, and the times he did get on I was impressed. So I know he's playing at right back for Dover this season proper, but I'm going to try and employ him in that central midfield role as best I can. Pretty much my aims is to find another attacking option up front and to try and bolster the defence a bit. Probably in the region of right back, where we've got Terrell Forbes and Craig Stone as the main 2 choices, so I'm eyeing up for other positions. And also we could do with another centre back as well. So that's going to be the goals going forward, and any other players that happen to float in and look like attractive prospects, then I will be doing my best to pick them up as well. So that's it for the time being. If you've enjoyed this first video in my lower league to Champions League challenge with Dover Athletic, then please feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and drop in any comments and feedback that you've got. I promise it will only improve and get better from here. There's pretty much no other way for it to go, to be honest. So let's see what we can do, and fingers crossed for a pretty amazing season.